Hi, so today I want to talk about frequency domains and how we are constantly shifting into different domains of vibratory frequency. And these various domains are giving us attention and emphasis on particular thoughts. So when you're vibrating or in a state of a particular frequency, you will only have access to a particular frequency domain. Say, for instance, that it's one of the third density, that it's a thought that's rooted in third density beliefs or perceptions or assumptions or logic. And you will only have access to those results or those thoughts and that frequency that is within that particular domain. And when you understand the nature of reality and that everything is happening all at once, then you can have access to all of creation because you're more tapped in with your imagination. And imagine this circle here as the beginning and the end of the universe, and everything that ever will happen, has happened, and is happening now is simultaneously held within this sphere. And within this sphere, you can travel with your consciousness and imagination to any particular place and any particular reality that exists, that ever can exist. So if you are accessing memory or information from this frequency domain, and you are only within, this range here of this third density, then you will not have access to higher densities and higher information and more expanded, more aware versions of reality. So if we are going to continue our evolution and our expansion into what is possible and really empower ourselves to become the next best thing, the next best creator, the next best version of human, then it is essential for us to get out of our own way and step into this new reality that is welcoming us in every moment. In every single moment, there's a new possibility, a new parallel timeline that is existent, that has always existed, that you just must have to shift your focus into, because if everything is happening at once, you can't ever take anything out of existence or create something new. All you're doing is remembering what it's like to visit that state. You're remembering to visit the state of fifth density, this domain of fifth density. You're remembering to visit the state of fourth density because all you do is forget within the third density and below. You forget that about the mechanics of time and space. You forget about the mechanics of the universe and the nature of all of existence. And this gives you a profound realization of what you can actually do, because if you are able to forget all that you are and all that you have been created for and all that you are creating for, then you have an ability to kind of see in a new perspective, a new fresh way of realizing things. And that's what we're doing here in third density, is we're accessing information that ultimately is unaccessible to fourth, fifth, or sixth on a certain level, because they can access it through bridging and mind melding and through experiencing our lives through us and through other sentient conscious beings. But effectively, beings that reside within, fourth, fifth, and sixth density don't have aren't of the domain and aren't of the frequency of third density, so they ultimately cannot access perspectives that we have, and we cannot access perspectives that they have to an extent, because if we are to use our imagination, then everything is possible to us, and will be guided to do the things that we're desired to do because all desire is unconscious, and it is guiding you to experience something that you have not yet made consciously aware of. But the frequency domain is where you are going to live. It's the vibration that you're going to embody. So if you're stuck in this third density, way of life, and this, commute, this suffering, this starvation, this disease, if you're always in this entrenched area of victimhood, then and disconnection from what is true, which is the infinite nature of existence, that all time is happening simultaneously, and within this all that ever exists, you can travel to anywhere in time and space that you can imagine. And your imagination, all levels of the domain are equally valid. All levels are equally valid, and their own perspective is truth. So if you are accessing information from a higher density, and you don't really resonate or like that perspective, it doesn't make it not true, because what if you're accessing information and truth from that perspective and that frequency domain, then it is true from that domain. So your reality is true from where you're living it at, and it's equally valid, and every perspective and every location is equally truth. And whenever you shift your domain or your location of your perspective and where you are looking from, the more that you can shift into a new truth, a new set of beliefs, a new set of possibilities, a new set of limitations, and hopefully you're able to expand on what you are capable of, rather than devolving and going back into a state of victimhood. But what you need to realize is what you are imagining is equally as valid as this experience that you are flesh and blood right now. And you are not flesh and blood in each and every moment. Let me tell you why. Because you are not conscious of the body in every single moment. When you're lost in thought and you completely zone out or daydream, you are not actually identified or associated with the body. You are not identified with the body and how it breathes, or how it moves, or how it can turn its eyesight, or view other objects in this particular domain, this reality of through density. When you are not involved or associated with the physical senses, and which is sleep and comas, or daydreaming, or just thinking, because we zone out all the time, and we're in the state of an altered consciousness or hypnosis, where we actually don't associate with with our physical realm, and we're all kind of on autopilot at that point. But we also dissociate through drugs and altering our state of consciousness through substances and in inebriation. So that is a way to access other frequency domains, but you do not need substances, because your imagination is infinite. And what you're doing effectively when you're doing substances or even pharmaceuticals and drugs and legal drugs that they prescribe to you that are, antidepressants or literally change the chemical makeup of your body, what you're doing is making it so you're less associated with the body and more associated with like the mind and your imagination. And every moment we can shift in and out of this particular phase or this domain of reality, and we can go anywhere we want to. And the more that you are know that you are capable of going higher and going to more connected and loving and wise and beautiful and abundant and joyful and blissful places, the more that you know that those places exist and they're equally as valid as the place that you were 20 years ago or 2 years ago or 2 months ago or 2 days ago. Just because you experience that and your consciousness is focusing back on that particular time and space doesn't mean that it's not valid for you to also want to go somewhere else. And I'm going to talk about this on another video of spiritual bypassing, but frequency domains are essential understanding, and hopefully you are capable of kind of grasping the idea here with the entirety of existence all happening at once, and that you as your consciousness needs to shift into, through conscious intention and focus and willpower and imagination, needs to shift into what it is that what reality and what frequency domain that you want to shift into, because everything is already available and everything already exists. So you're not actually creating something new, you're only remembering what it's like as one portion of the infinite creator, which you are and I am. We're all separate portions which are equally valid. But the more that you are able to remember what it's like to be on a higher frequency, if you want to go there, or if you want to go lower, then you can. But I assume that you guys all want to be more free and more blissful and more happy and joyful. So you would need a larger perspective of reality for that, rather than a more constricted, confined one. So you would want to go higher in frequency and know that we are actually all one, and we're all actually all the same thing. We're all consciousness, and we're all one in a sea of vibration, and it's all equally truthful. Every single portion and every single location of vibration is the creator. And just because you don't like one portion or one location doesn't mean that you can't like another one that is more in resonance with what your happiness is. So it's just a matter of shifting your perspective and shifting your imagination into that reality that you so desire. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll be seeing you guys on other videos. Don't remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you are interested in exchanging information and learning from others. Thank you.